Welcome to the Robert Does Wrestling YouTube channel right here on youtube.com. And tonight in store we have an Impact Wrestling review to do. That is Impact Wrestling Review 1st March 2018. So the first match of the night. Ethan Carter III, EC3 versus Tyrus. This match ended up having an outcome that I was not expecting. Tyrus was able to pin clean Ethan Carter III. As for the match, it was okay TV match. As for the outcome, I might not be a fan of it, but I understand. However, I have to put over that finisher. Tyrus did a chokeslam and then he ended up pinning EC3 doing the push-up motion. That is a finisher that I do like a lot. Next, we got Ohio versus everything. OBE doing a promo talking about the main event of the evening that ended up being Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan. Next, we got a green screen segment with Sonjay Dutt and Josh Matthews. That is the type of production that I do enjoy. Why? Because it is way different from the way World Wrestling Entertainment do things. And by the way, they ended up name dropping the promotion All Wheels Wrestling. That was a side project done by Impact Wrestling in 2018. Hogan and Eric Bischoff ended up, sending Jarrett and Tosh Mantel to do the India project that ended up being Rinka King and the All Wheels Wrestling project. And we haven't heard much about it. So I am looking forward to watch that show. And if you have enough people who are interested in reviewing that show, let me know in the comments. I might be open to that suggestion. Next, we got Braxton Sutter versus El Hijo del Fantasma. Hijo del Fantasma was able to obviously pin Braxton Sutter. And after the match, Braxton Sutter ended up doing a post-match shoot promo calling out Allie, like blaming her, like she was the worst thing that happened to his life and stuff like that. Then Brian Cage ended up showing up and beating him up. Next, we got Matt Sydal doing a promo backstage, and Taichi Ishimori ended up showing up, and he got like a piece of paper. He ended up giving that paper to Mackenzie, and she read the whole thing. So he basically said, "Hey, I accept your challenge for the X Division title if you put your grand title on the line." So on Crossroads is gonna be Taichi Ishimori and Matt Sydal, the X Division title versus the grand title. Next, we got Kongo Kong versus Joseph Park. Obviously, this was a squash match. Kongo Kong was able to pin him easily, and after that, Kongo Kong ended up choking out Joseph Park with Jimmy Jacobs making fun of him. Next, we got the Cult of Lee doing a pool party, and the Mumbai Cats ended up showing up. After that, Conan showed up, and the Mumbai Cats ended up taking their masks off, and they were revealed to be the Latin American exchange, and they attacked Call of Lee. They did the whole thing very similar to the whole Broken Universe. Oh, they're doing that type of stuff. I don't know why, but they're doing because they can, and it was fun. It was excellent the way Impact those things because they are the subject matter expert. Next, we got Alberto El Patron cutting a promo on Austin Aries and on Johnny Impact saying either of them can win at Crossroads, but they have to face him later down the line because he is the uncrowned Impact Wrestling champion. Next, we got Hania versus Rosemary, with Rosemary beating her fair and square. And this match was one of the best matches I have actually seen from Rosemary. She looks highly motivated during the match, and she ended up pinning Hania with the red wedding. Then after the match, she ended up cutting a promo, and Taya Valkyrie ended up showing up. So basically, she returned to Impact Wrestling, and she took advantage of Rosemary and attacked her from behind, and then planted her face first into the Impact Wrestling ramp. Next, we got LVN, her ceremony. This was like a wedding. You got KM being the master of ceremonies. You have LBN showing up nasty, as her character requires to. Then you got Braxton Sutter showing up and asking LBN to, marry him because, Allen was the worst thing that happened to his uh, life. So he wants to make it up to her. Obviously, LBN, kick him out of the ring. Then Allen show up from behind and attack LBN. As for this segment, unto himself, it was alright. Nothing horrible. However, there are two things that I need to say about this. Number one is that nobody cared about Braxton Sutter. He ended up being like the chart boy of this situation. Total loser. And number two, when you compare this wedding to the one they did a year back, and even to the Aces and Eights, wedding between Brooke Hogan and Bully Ray, this simply do not measure up to that standard. It is what it is, but it was not terrible, but it was not as good as previous wedding on Impact Wrestling history. Next, we got another promo by OBE setting up to the main event. Having time. Eddie Edwards versus Sammy Callahan. By the way, I enjoyed that type of poster. It looks, beautiful. During the match, we saw Sammy Callahan doing a nasty ring apron pile driver on Eddie Edwards. Then he did a couple of power bombs. Eddie Edwards did a superplex from the top row. However, Eddie Edwards was able to pin Sammy Callahan with a small package. After the match, Sammy Callahan ended up attacking him with a double underhook to knee, driver. I don't know what is the name of that move, but that was the description. After that, Sammy Callahan took a baseball bat. Oh God. He put a chair on the chest of Eddie Edwards. However, he didn't have a good measuring eye, and he ended up hitting Eddie Edwards in the eye with that bat. It was like hit me with your best shot type of moment. I was like, holy shit, this is not predetermined. This is, real. During the match, after the match, obviously, the other members of OBE ended up attacking Bobby Lashley backstage, so he could not help Eddie Edwards. And that's how the show ended, with Sammy Callahan holding the bat on top, and him, even though he lost to Eddie Edwards, having the upper hand. And after the match, we saw through, Twitter, pictures of Eddie Edwards on the hospital, and that whole thing sounded, legit as hell. If that was not legit, they did a great job. I bought, hook, line, and sinker that was a real type of thing. So even if it was not real, keep it real, guys. I like that type of thing that is hidden behind mystery, the mystery of being not real and real. So I enjoyed that segment. So my overall thoughts on the show: good show, 8 out of 10. And next week is gonna be Crossroads. We are gonna be having the Latin American Exchange versus Call of Lee for the Impact World Tag Team titles. We also will see Allie challenging Laurel Banes for the Knockouts title. We will also see, as I stated before, Matt Sydal versus Taichi Ishimori, title versus title. Lashley and Eddie Edwards versus Ohio versus everything. And the main event, Johnny Impact versus the Impact World Champion, the bill collector, Austin Aries. So I'm looking forward to Crossroads. Hopefully you're looking forward to. Let me know about your thoughts about this episode in the comment section below. How would you rate this episode? What was your favorite match about this episode? What do you find extremely, fascinating? One of the things that I had on my mind during this whole thing was, hey, they did 2 knockout segments back to back. We haven't seen that in quite a while. And let's see how good they do on ratings, because usually during the first hour, if they put the knockouts in that time slot, they do a good job with the numbers. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching this show, and that's it. Goodbye and thanks for listening.